So we were talking about the Ministerial Council. So it's a high representative body in the WTO where the decision making is taken place. And ये meet करती है हर 2 साल के अंदर. Issues regarding the supporting measures we have regarding the fishermen. Then 25% of the global poor fishermen and livelihood of 9 million people is dependent on the fishing activities in India. And in India, if we talk apart from this topic, so we have the major share in the fishing industry from the inland fisheries, not from the offshore industries. Apart from that, India has proposed that developing countries be allowed to give subsidies to their poor fishermen to catch fish till the exclusive economic zones up to 200 nautical miles. So 200 nautical miles तक fishermen को allow किया जाए ताकि वो फिशिंग एक्टिविटी कर सके, ताकि उनका रिसोर्स बढ़ सके, एम्प्लॉयमेंट लिवलीहुड बढ़ सके. India doesn't operate huge fishing fleets to exploit the resources indiscriminately. This is the stance of India. And subsidies provided to fisher folk in India are one of the lowest as far as the global subsidies are concerned.
If
And WTO agreement on agriculture, livelihood and resources, poor fishermen are defined, and the same definition are being taken care. So we have already the defined principles. Yes, Worship.
if we want to define this news in one sentence, it is India is talking about the amber subsidy, which is being given to the agriculture. It should be broadened and fishery should be included in it. वही इंडिया का स्टैंड है. बाकी सब सेम, पीस क्लॉज सेम रहने वाला है इसमें. The country is planning to push its demand for the extension of a subsidy to the poor fishermen, apart from agriculture.
Then government permits direct listing on gift IFSC's global exchange. So the government allowed direct listing of the securities by public Indian companies of International Exchange of Gift City and made the provisions to provide overarching regulatory framework to facilitate it. यानी गिफ्ट सिटी के अंदर जितने भी IFSCs फाइनेंशियल सेंटर्स, इंटरनेशनल फाइनेंशियल सेंटर्स होंगे, उनकी पब्लिक लिस्टिंग जो है वो डायरेक्ट लिस्टिंग हो सकती है और उसके लिए एक रेगुलेटरी फ्रेमवर्क भी प्रोवाइड किया जाएगा, ऐसी गवर्नमेंट का कहना है, पर्टिकुलरली द फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री. एंड इन्होंने ये भी डिसाइड किया है कि जो गवर्नमेंट है वो इनेबल करेगी लिस्टेड और अनलिस्टेड कंपनीज को IFSC एक्सचेंज पर, जिससे कि इंडियन कंपनीज को एक्सेस मिलेगा फॉरेन कैपिटल का, फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट FII और FPI ज्यादा आएगी और ब्रॉडन हो जाएंगे इन्वेस्टर्स का बेस. डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ इकोनॉमिक अफेयर्स जो कि फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री का पार्ट है, इसने ऐसे रूल्स बनाए हैं. फीमा डायरेक्ट लिस्टिंग जो होगी वो इनकॉर्पोरेट की जाएगी एज पर द इंटरनेशनल एक्सचेंज स्कीम. मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट अफेयर्स ने इशू किया है कंपनीज के लिस्टिंग जिसके अंदर शेयर किए जाएंगे.
And I will add
अभी
one
तक
point.
जो फ्रेमवर्क है वो अलाउ करता है अनलिस्टेड पब्लिक इंडियन कंपनीज को अपने शेयर इंटरनेशनल एक्सचेंज पे शेयर करने का, लेकिन अब डायरेक्टली लिस्टेड भी कर सकेंगे. एंड शेबी जो हमारी रेगुलेटिंग अथॉरिटी है वो इशू करेगी ऑपरेशनल गाइडलाइंस इस मुद्दे के ऊपर. इंटरनेशनल स्टॉक एक्सचेंज की अगर हम बात करें गिफ्ट IFSC सिटी में, तो इंडिया इंटरनेशनल एक्सचेंज, ये एक है NSC, ये दो ऐसे हैं जो अभी फिलहाल में काम कर रहे हैं. गिफ्ट IFSC जो है वो इंडिया का पहला इंटरनेशनल फाइनेंशियल सर्विस सेंटर है जो सेट किया गया था, जो इस्टेब्लिश किया गया था ताकि ग्लोबल अपॉर्चुनिटीज जो हैं वो इंडिया में आए, ग्लोबल इन्वेस्टमेंट आए, मोर इन्वेस्टमेंट हो और उससे पूरा पूरा जो इकोनॉमी है उसको बूस्ट मिले, इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ हो. तो ग्लोबल फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम और सीमलेस फ्लो ऑफ ग्लोबल कैपिटल इनटू इंडिया. सो दीज वर द मेन रीजंस बिकॉज ऑफ व्हिच द ग्लोबल IFSC was established in Gujarat.
Yes, two things I want to add. That
We can scroll, please.
1 second, Pravesh. SFIO, Serious Fraud Investigation Organization. It is under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. And second thing, India has become the 4th largest stock exchange in the world, exceeding the Hong Kong. तो गिफ्ट सिटी के कारण और भी आगे बढ़ सकते हैं.
So watching the budget, so we have to wait and watch what comes in the budget. So interim budget and full budget. So what is the difference between this? Interim budget is produced for the emergency reasons. For an example, we have the elections. Then we have an emergency. So interim budget is produced in such kind of exigencies. And later on, that interim budget is surpassed by the full form of full budget, or that is the original budget. Then here what lies ahead? I would like to request to the producer of this doc, so please highlight what a budget does. Budget is a statement of the government finances in the current and the forthcoming year. This is the definition of the budget. And in the Constitution of India, under Article 112, it is mentioned annual financial statement, जिसको हम budget के नाम से जानते हैं. So the budget word is not mentioned in the Constitution, number one. Then कितना गवर्नमेंट को अर्न किया, कितना गवर्नमेंट ने अर्न किया, कितना गवर्नमेंट ने खर्चा, कितना उनका एक्सपेक्टेड टर्नओवर है, कितनी उनकी एक्सपेंडिचर है, रिवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर है, कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर है, रिवेन्यू अर्निंग है, कैपिटल अर्निंग है. ये सारी चीजों का जो ब्यूरो होता है वो बजट के अंदर होता है. और रिवाइज एस्टिमेट्स भी होते हैं इनके अंदर, और बजट एस्टिमेट्स भी होते हैं. Then high fiscal deficit results into two problems. What is a fiscal deficit? When the government expends more but gets less. यानी जब गवर्नमेंट का एक्सपेंडिचर ज्यादा है और गवर्नमेंट की अर्निंग कम है, उसको हम बोलते हैं फिस्कल डेफिसिट. तो इससे दो प्रॉब्लम होती है. पहला,
प्रवीण, आप एक बार बस डेफिनेशन फॉर्मूला बता सकते हो फिस्कल डेफिसिट का?
फॉर्मूला यू कैन टेल.
ये फॉर्मूला इज टोटल एक्सपेंडिचर, उसमें कैपिटल एंड रेवेन्यू दोनों एक्सपेंडिचर होता है माइनस द टोटल रेवेन्यू ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. तो इन रेवेन्यू वी हैव द रेवेन्यू रिसिप्ट्स प्लस देर इज नॉन डेट क्रिएटिंग कैपिटल रिसिप्ट्स. तो ये इंपॉर्टेंट है, नॉन डेट क्रिएटिंग कैपिटल रिसिप्ट्स. मतलब इसमें जो गवर्नमेंट लोन लेती है वो भी पार्ट होता है कैपिटल रिसिप्ट का, बट फिस्कल डेफिसिट में इंक्लूड नहीं होता क्योंकि वो गवर्नमेंट को अल्टीमेटली रीपे करना पड़ता है. So that is not considered under the fiscal deficit.
Okay, thank you. So, what are the two problems regarding the fiscal deficit? Number one, there is very little left for the private sector to borrow. Reason? When the government is having the shortage of funds, the government will buy and the government will borrow from the public banks that please provide us money for the social expenditure. In that case, the private sector will not be having the enough leverage to borrow money as they want. So पहला प्राइवेट सेक्टर के लिए दिक्कत हो जाती है. दूसरा, लेस मनी रिलेटेड टू द बोरोवर इंप्लाइज दैट बोरोवर बोरोइंग कॉस्ट विल राइज. यानी जब आपकी जो ब्याज दर होती है, इंटरेस्ट रेट होता है, वो भी बढ़ जाता है. If the government tries to get around this problem by printing fresh currency notes, it would lead to inflation, then subsequent hyperinflation. और कॉमन मैन के लिए प्रॉब्लम आ जाती है, बिकॉज कॉमन मैन जो है इन्फ्लेशन में उनको हर चीज महंगी पड़ती है.
और प्रवेश एक पॉइंट और आंसर कर दो
Then
कि
what to watch on
कौन-
February 1? The data on current year book ends the 10th year of नरेंद्र मोदी गवर्नमेंट. हम देखेंगे कि 10 साल की जो सरकार है उसका फाइनेंशियल जो स्टेबिलिटी है वो किस तरीके की, ये हमें देखने को मिलेगा इस बजट में. क्या क्या उन्होंने किया, इंडियन इकोनॉमी का 2014 से लेके और 24 तक में क्या ग्रोथ, क्या अप एंड डाउन आए, कोविड का इम्पैक्ट क्या आया, साइक्लिक इकोनॉमी की जो हम बात करते हैं वो किस तरीके से हमारी चल रही है, ये सारी चीजें हम देखेंगे. इसमें इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है एफआरबीएम एक्ट जो कि 2003 में आया. ये बात करता है कि आपका जो फिस्कल डेफिसिट है वो 3% की जीडीपी से कम होना चाहिए. 3.4% आई थिंक की जो लिमिट है वो जीडीएसपी यानी जीडीपी ऑफ स्टेट उससे कम होना चाहिए. लेकिन हम देखते हैं कि हमेशा एक्सटेंड होता है. और जो हमारा फाइनेंस कमीशन है 14th 15th, उन्होंने यही कहा है कि आप जो है इसको एक्सटेंड कर सकते हैं, लेकिन कुछ हद तक. लेट्स सपोज इफ इट इज 3, so you can extend it 4 to 4.5, but not more than that. And within the subsequent years, you have to come under the categorization under the limit of the 3% itself. Gross tax revenue buoyancy is likely to come at 1.6% in financial year 24 versus a budget estimate of 1.0. So this is a good thing. Tax buoyancy simply means that you have more tax collection, you have more tax savings. That is the tax buoyancy. And if there is some sort of misinterpretation, Sumansi can rectify this.
Okay, so tax revenue
Tax buoyancy
means-
ratio shows how a government tax revenue
प्रवेश
respond to GDP growth. यानी आपकी जितनी जीडीपी हो रही है उसके हिसाब से गवर्नमेंट के पास कितना टैक्स आ रहा है, ये रेशो जो होता है ये आपको बताता है टैक्स बुओयंसी. यानी आपने जितना खर्चा भी किया उसके हिसाब से मार्केट की जो जीडीपी है उसके हिसाब से आपका टैक्स कितना है. अगर हर किसी आदमी की पर कैपिटा इनकम बढ़ रही है तो क्या वो टैक्स दे रहा है? अगर वो टैक्स दे रहा है तो जितना टैक्स आ रहा है उसका रेशो और आपकी जीडीपी की ग्रोथ का रेशो वो टैक्स बुओयंसी. Then and at 224.25 by all Indians in their personal capacity accounts for almost 60% of India's annual GDP. इन्वेस्टमेंट रिलेटेड स्पेंडिंग हम देखेंगे जो कि 30% है इंडिया की जीडीपी का, बल्कि उससे ज्यादा है. और सेंट्रल बैंक कंटेन करता है इन्फ्लेशन को बाय रेजिंग इंटरेस्ट रेट्स एंड रिड्यूसिंग डिमांड फॉर द गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज. जब हम बात करते हैं कि द इन्फ्लेशन कंट्रोल एंड इन्फ्लेशन मैनेजमेंट इज द रिस्पांसिबिलिटी ऑफ द आरबीआई अलोंग विद द फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री। एंड कॉस्ट पुश इन्फ्लेशन, यानी जब आपकी जो डिमांड एंड सप्लाई के फैक्टर्स के तहत आपके प्रोडक्ट्स की कॉस्ट जो है वो ज्यादा हो जाती है क्योंकि उसकी डिमांड ज्यादा होती है, सो दैट इज simply the meaning of cost push inflation. So Mansi and Oshik, if you want to add something.
Pravesh, the question is how to boost consumption level in the of the average Indian, how
Okay,
to
we can scroll then.
incentivize investment by the private sector. यहाँ पर आप कुछ बोलना है?
Can you repeat, Oshik?
यहाँ लिखा हुआ है ना 2024-2025 के बीच में कैसे कंजम्पशन लेवल को बढ़ाए और इन्वेस्टमेंट इंसेंटिवाइज कैसे करे उसको, क्योंकि राइट नाउ इट इज ओनली 30% ऑफ इंडिया जीडीपी इन्वेस्टमेंट रिलेटेड स्पेंडिंग अकॉर्डिंग टू यू।
तो बताइए आप।
आई थिंक देयर आर सम to increase the investment we have to give incentives such as PLI and logistics expenditure को कम करना चाहिए overall. So for that we have Bharatmala, freight corridor, etc. and private partnership in the gift city, even in the railways and airport. तो वहाँ पे इंसेंटिव दे सकते हैं, इंसेंटिव प्राइवेट सेक्टर फर्म्स के लिए। मानसी, इफ यू वांट टू ऐड।
Okay, so we can move forward. And one thing I want to add with you, that formalization of the economy is the best way to do that.
Regarding this, the Dalit man dies of custodial torture in Gujarat, accused sub-inspector absconding. This has not been marked, but this is important. So, what this shows? This shows the high-handedness by the police officer. Police should maintain a human face in front of the public. The due process should be followed on the basis of Garima, Nyaya and Kanu. Then, regarding the guideline given by the DK Basu, all the investigation should be performed by a forensic. Second, CCTV camera should be present, body cam should be present, so that there is no handedness by the police and there should be cooperation from the police side also. Government scheme regarding to this Mission Shakti, that is talking about the Mahila Thanas, so that the people get familiar with the system of police, they can file complaint at a very easy and efficient way. Then another I want to add is the importance of the behavior ethics among the police personnel, how to inculcate them. Memoirs of the important policemen such as Julio Romero, Prakash Singh, and IPS Prakash Singh. And second would be weekly for a Saturday, Sunday, there should be a workshop between the higher official and the lower official regarding the sensitivity with the cases. तभी आप टॉर्चर को कम कर सकते हैं ओवरऑल। डेटरेंट मैकेनिज्म, this kind of behavior is not good for the police as a whole, and there should be strict deterrent right from imprisonment. That is जो तमिलनाडु केस एग्जाम्पल जयराज बेनिक्स उन्हें हुआ था। Sanitation workers stage protests, say they are paid less than the minimum wage. This is not only with respect to the sanitation worker. We have seen from the past 1 month that the minimum wage issue is also in Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, etc. with related to the Anganwadi and Asha worker. They are also demanding that there should be some form of social security benefit given to them, and their wages should be equal to the wages in the group D or group D services in the government sector. Because in the contractual job, gig economy, social security benefit is not there. That is why Safai Karamkamgar Union, which represents the worker, they said the workers are paid less than the minimum wage. तो 3 areas जो हम लोग बात किए, फर्स्ट इज मिनिमम वेज एक्ट 1948 के तहत में उनको मिलना चाहिए। सेकंड, कॉन्ट्रैक्टल लेबर्स उनको फॉर्मलाइज करना चाहिए। एंड थर्ड वुड बी सोशल सिक्योरिटी बेनिफिट, फॉर एग्जांपल कोड ऑफ वेजेस 2020 एंड ऑपरेशन सेफ्टी हजार्ड 2020, उसके अंदर में लेबर कोड है, उसके हिसाब से चलना चाहिए। डायरेक्ट रिड्रेसल ऑफ ग्रीवांसेस अंडर द लेबर मिनिस्ट्री एक प्लेटफॉर्म होना चाहिए। और बाकी सोशल सिक्योरिटी बेनिफिट है, फॉर एग्जांपल ई श्रम पोर्टल, वो सब फॉर्मल इकोनॉमी के लिए इनको भी देना चाहिए, अपार्ट फ्रॉम अटल पेंशन योजना, इसके कारण कर सकते हैं। हाउ कैन सेंटर नॉट हाउ कैन सेंटर नॉट एक्सेप्ट 1981 अमेंडमेंट बाय पार्लियामेंट, सुप्रीम कोर्ट? ओवरऑल द अलीगढ़ मुस्लिम यूनिवर्सिटी केस is related to the earlier it was established by the act of parliament in 1920. 1967 Supreme Court in the Aziz Basha case said that AMU should not get a minority status. Why? Because it was brought by the central legislature and not by the Muslim minority. Then 1969 बात हो रहा है, 1981 में Parliament passed the amendment in which it stated that AMU was a minority institution. Again in 2006, Allahabad High Court stated that 1981 amendment was unconstitutional because it was brought by the Central Parliamentary Act. That is why it is not a minority institution. And regarding to this, right now 7-judge bench under the CJI DY Chandrachud ji have said that irrespective of government representing the cause of union, it is the Supreme Court says that 1981 Act should come under the purview of the constitutional remedy, and the status of the AMU as a minority status will be under question. तो अभी हाल फिलहाल में दो बस इंपॉर्टेंट मुद्दा है विच वी कैन डिस्कस। पहला है कि आर्टिकल 30 which gives the rights to the minority both linguistic and religious to administer, establish and administer the minority status institution for the safeguarding, preserving, conserving the culture, heritage, etc. Second thing, under Article 30, it does not say that majority should not belong in it, because administration is a secular thing and religious speech, religious education is a different thing. In administration, there should be a diverse viewpoint. There should be no exclusive domination by the minority status people. तो एक हो सकता है। तो right now the judgment is going on, and after that we can discuss in detail. So this was a brief starting point of the EMU issue, right from the British period to 2006 and 2023. SAU, South Asian University, is under it was established under the international agreement for the South Asian. With regarding to some protests in the South Asian University, the central government was taking some action on it, but it is said that central government, Indian government, does not hold any control. Why? Because the status of international organization enjoys the privilege and immunities from the agreement which have been signed by all the countries in the South Asia. It enjoys the privilege and immunity with respect to the course and curriculum, admission of the students in the South Asia, autonomous status of the SAU, and fourth is giving employment opportunity to the professors on the contractual basis. ये चार हो गया। इंपॉर्टेंट एसयू कहां पर आता है? तो आईआर के हिसाब से बोला जाए तो एसयू कैन बी अ बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक between the south integration of the South Asian region. Second would be people to people contact between several Bhutan, Nepal, Bangladesh, etc. in the South Asian region. तो इशू क्या है इसमें? तो we discuss in detail in last month. That is, it have the issue of the infrastructure issue. Then second would be there is less admission in the SEU by the students. and third is autonomous status given to them. 3 issue. तो SOU important है, South Asian University. Don't know Hindi will call criminal laws by old names. Maharashtra Madras SC judge. He commented on the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita, and Bharatiya Sakshya Sanhita. He says that all these are in Hindi. We will state IPC, CRPC, Indian Evidence Act by the long-standing English name. I think this is not a correct way to stand because Supreme Court is an integral body and it has to follow the rules and procedure established by the law, in the parliament. But the important thing highlighted is what about the languages? When whatever linguistic interpretation of the law in different states. तो उसमें बोल सकते हैं कि there should be a certain translation of languages in each state so that the justice and judiciary judgment can be translated into simple language for the interpretation of the local common man. उसके लिए प्रमोट कर सकते हैं, उसके लिए AI यूज कर सकते हैं, e-court services. And third would be stenographer, specialist stenographer and typist कोई एस्टैब्लिश कर सकता है. तभी जाके डीकोलोनाइजेशन का लॉन्ग टर्म विजन इंडिया का है, अमृत काल 2047, वो अचीव कर सकते हैं. Election Commission of India, Article 324, which talks about free and fair election in India, and Election Commission of India is a constitutional body. ECI, CEC, Chief Election Commission, can only be removed according to the removal of the judges of the Supreme Court and High Court. Whereas other election commission, 2 elections. Right now, Election Commission has 3 body. 1 Chief Election Commission and 2 Election Commission. Election Commission can only be removed by the President on the recommendation of the CEC and Supreme Court. Right now, 96 crore voters have been roped in. 14th National Voters Day, 25th January 2024. How to increase the voter base? So, first of all, we can encourage the competition between the district in which the highest number of polls have been made. Incentive have been given. Second, selfie with election. That is the statue and all the things are being there during the election process. वहां प्रमोट कर सकते हैं. वोटर एजुकेशन शॉर्ट फिल्म प्रमोट कर सकते हैं. पोस्टर स्टैम्प, logo, tagline, hashtag, etc. E-sweep for encouraging the young voter for the election. E-vigil is for transparency in election. We can promote this. So, ये election commission. Issue of genocide and the world code. Right now, the Republic of South Africa have initiated proceeding against the Israel in ICJ. It is Hague, Geneva. And ICJ, it talks about the boundary issue between the countries, genocide convention, and one petty fact, genocide convention, the first convention which was signed after formation of UN 1948. It was first convention. तो ये याद रखना important है. And South Africa held that Israel is committing genocide against the common Palestinian people in Gaza. The overall issue in this matter is there is a strict division between the Western world and the Eastern other global South regarding the rule-based international order. Whose rule-based international order? It is a Western form or it is a whole form for humanity? किसके लिए rule-based international order? ये question अभी. That is why India is talking about a multilateral institution reform, because big countries like Russia, China, US, they generally don't follow the rule established by the international order. Right now, 1 month back, the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have said that ICJ can give any direction, but he will follow the direction of the international interest. He said something like this. This showcases that big countries, strong countries, don't generally follow the rule-based international order. That is why we need multilateral institution. And second thing important regarding to the ICJ is it does not have any power with regarding to enforcement of the decision. Why? Because UN does not have its own military force. It resides on the contribution made by the countries, member countries. Then regarding social justice government scheme, Jal Jeevan Mission, it is launched in 2019 under the Ministry of Jal Shakti. Its aim was to provide 73% of the rural household. तो ये कोटेशन सबका साथ सबका विकास सबका विश्वास एंड प्रयास मेहनत हर हर के लिए करें इंपॉर्टेंट UN SDG goal 6 is clean water and sanitation for all SDG goal are important and इसमें 6 बात करते हैं clean water. No one is left behind is a core theme of Jal Jeevan Mission. It talks about however there are some issues with regarding to that because quality water needed, then there should be a social audit for the Jal Jeevan Mission. And there is a disparity in the states with regarding to implementation of Jal Jeevan Mission. Some states are, for example, Goa, it is 100%, whereas other states are lacking with regarding to target. Active involvement of the women in decision making through skill development, creation of local water enterprises. Local water enterprise, keyword, which will be a strengthening communities, which will strengthening the communities. जैसे बात करते हैं आपदा मित्र, that is पोषण सखीज, आंगनवाड़ी वर्कर, आशा वर्कर that are talking about the पोषण अभियान, that are participating in the पोषण अभियान, that is they are awareing the citizen regarding the importance of the nutrition. पोषण सखीज, बैंक सखीज, वैसी नल जल मित्र इनिशिएटिव जिसमें विलेज लेवल पर आप पहुंचा सकते हैं. पानी समिति important, sanitation committee, it is a grassroots level encouragement of the Jal Jeevan Mission. It can be written in the GS paper 4. For creation of the employment, first of all we talk about how can Manrega can be integrated into PM Awas. It can also be integrated into Jal Jeevan Mission. The employment generation is around 60 lakh, 2.2 crore person years of indirectly employed. Transparency and efficiency, it is needed in this. Prompt corrective action, grievance redressal, etc. युद्ध अभ्यास, डेजर्ट नाइट, हर एक कंट्री के साथ, हर एक देश के साथ युद्ध अभ्यास होता है भारत का, चाहे वो इंडोनेशिया रहे, नेपाल रहे. सूर्य किरण नेपाल, फिर इंडोनेशिया के साथ हो गया, फिर युद्ध अभ्यास यूएस के साथ होता है, फ्रांस के साथ होता है, और इंडियन नेवी भी ये काम करती है. तो लिखा है युद्ध अभ्यास डेजर्ट नाइट. डेजर्ट नाइट यूपीएससी प्रीलिम्स पूछता है. नाम भारत, फ्रांस एंड यूएई, अरब सागर के ऊपर एक विशाल हवाई युद्ध अभ्यास किया गया. तीनों देशों के वायु सेनाओं की कई अग्रिम पंक्ति के विमान और लड़ाकू विमान शामिल थे. सुखोई 30 MKI इंपोर्टेड फ्रॉम सुखोई, इंपोर्टेड फ्रॉम रशिया. मिग इंपोर्टेड फ्रॉम रशिया. जागुआर इंपोर्टेड फ्रॉम यूके. उसके अलावा AWCS हवाई प्रभांगर चेतावनी और नियंत्रण विमान. C-130 is transport aircraft imported from US. C-17 imported from US. तो important thing, desert night, Bharat, France, UAE. From the prism of diplomacy, India and Pakistan relation, important keyword which we can write in GS paper 4, Mr. Bisaria, who was posted in Islamabad in 2017 as a diplomat. तो GS4 पेपर 4 में इनका नाम लिख सकते हैं. और contribution with regarding to the peace and peace in diplomacy between the two countries during high tension between two countries 2017, 18, 19 के बाद. अजय बिसरिया नाम है, तो इनका ले लेना। तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ट्रैक टू, इंपॉर्टेंट ट्रैक टू मतलब होता है कि फर्स्ट ट्रैक देयर शुड बी अ टॉक बिटवीन द प्राइम मिनिस्टर एंड फॉरेन डिग्नेटरीज। ट्रैक टू मतलब more relationship, percolation of relationship and other domains, cultural sphere, then writers, actors, musicians, etc. When PM Vajpayee, Atal Bihari Vajpayee visited Pakistan in the Lahore bus trip, he talked about जो हम पर गुजरी बच्चों के संग ना होने देंगे, जंग ना होने देंगे. We will not allow our, we won't allow our children to go through the war. What we have, we won't allow war. And after just that visit, 1999, Kargil war happened. उसके बाद से फिर there was a thaw in relationship, 2009, 2001 Parliament attack, then 2001 Operation Parakram, 2008 attack on the Mumbai, 26/11. After that, 2016 Pathankot, then Uri, then after that 2019, that is Pulwama, and successive joint operation by the Indian Armed Forces, Special Forces attack in 2016 and 19 Balakot airstrike. All these took place and all this resulted in the thaw in the relationship and also the version of a relationship between two countries after the Pulwama attack. तो इंडिया का डॉक्ट्रिन क्या रहा है? तो इंडिया is talking about the alienation of Pakistan in the international community by coercive diplomacy, word coercive diplomacy in economic field by use of FATF as an institution to make Pakistan bankrupt. पहला. Second, peace with the Pakistan with regarding to the LOC जो साइन हुआ था 2022 का आई थिंक, and after the abrogation of 370 and the new normalization of the Kashmir. ये three issues है regarding that, and increasing the relationship between the Arab country so that the Pakistan can be alienated in the Muslim world. ये 3 to 4 एरियाज है जहां पर समझना चाहिए रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन इंडिया एंड पाकिस्तान. Important word regarding the India and Maldives is quiet diplomacy. We talked about wait and watch policy. Then there is quiet diplomacy. क्यों? Both the ministers and the important diplomat of the both countries cannot engage with each other on Twitter or any other media. They should talk behind the channels. That is quiet diplomacy. कैसे दिखाया गया और क्यों होना चाहिए? पहला बात है कि इंडिया इज अ important power, global power. India is emerging global power. So it should take the responsibility with regarding to the peace and prosperity in Indian Ocean region. Example, Sagar. और दूसरा बात यहाँ पर है कि neighborhood first policy is not only related to the continental region. It is also related to the maritime domain. जो कल बात की with regarding to the two front war. तो it should be seen as a fostering its military that have carried out humanitarian operation on Maldives. और quiet diplomacy कारण ही the ship that is being docking by the China, it is the merchant ship. It is not a military ship. तो एक डायरेक्शन दिया हुआ है क्योंकि अभी यह देखा जा रहा है कि देयर इज अ इंडिया आउट कैंपेन इन मालदीव्स, देयर इज एंटी इंडिया सेंटिमेंट इन मालदीव्स, देयर इज इंडिया आउट आर्मी आउट कैंपेन, and for that India should take a first initiative with regarding the normalization of relationship between the two countries. Israel Hamas conflict, we discussed this one.
मालदीव्स के साथ अभी इशू हमारा हो रहा है, उसमें इंडिया अपनी सॉफ्ट पावर स्किल्स जो है उसको डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट कर रहा है.
Yes, because as a responsible power, India should not be seen as using hard power as a measure because it leads to a trust deficit between other countries. India should use soft power as a tool to mend its ties. पहला. Second, Israel Hamas conflict impacting on economic energy security. Top India diplomat to UN, we discussed this one. बस एक दो इसमें उठाना है. First, UN Relief and Works Agency, UNRWA. It is only for the Palestinian refugees. It was established in 1948 to deliver foods, material, relief work for the Palestinian refugees in the East Jerusalem. तो एक ही हो गया. And two-state solution only guarantor of peace, because both the side, Hamas and even the right wing, far right wing of the Israeli party, though both calls for annihilation of the other. This will only lead to further violence and killing of the normal nation people. That is why two-state solution is only guarantor of peace between two countries. And for that, other country, big countries, for example, Western Asian power, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Western countries, Europe, US, and the leader of the global South, China, India, Russia, etc. They should come together and talk about the two-state solution. Difficult, it will be difficult for both the side because both have to accommodate each other, but करना पड़ेगा. इंडिया फ्रांस इंपॉर्टेंट क्यों है ओवरऑल वर्ल्ड के लिए? पहली बात कि इंडिया कंसिडर फ्रांस एज अ स्ट्रैटेजिक पार्टनर. इंडिया डोंट कंसिडर यूएस एज स्ट्रैटेजिक पार्टनर. बोलते हैं लेकिन ओवर लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए. Why? Because France also practices strategic autonomy in the European Union region. It had left NATO in 1966 on an assessment that US was interfering in the business of the EU. That is why France have its own nuclear submarine. It has the capacity to build weapons and aircraft. It has the permanent security veto power in the UN CSE. And France has not sailed away from sharing most advanced defense and civil technology, for example, Rafale, या फिर बात होता है with respect to the nuclear submarine, etc. India is also reciprocated by treating France as a dependable high source of high-end defense equipment technology. तो एंग्लो-सैक्सन मतलब 5 कंट्री, यूएस, कनाडा, यूके, न्यूजीलैंड एंड ऑस्ट्रेलिया. एंग्लो-सैक्सन वर्ल्ड इसको बोलते हैं. तो although they talk about multiculturalism, pluralism, they talk about human rights, but their viewpoint of the world is pragmatic, real politics. Whereas for France and Russia, India shares a very strengthened relationship because of the strategic autonomy. तो autonomy का जब बात करेंगे तो हमेशा फ्रांस और रशिया आएगा. फिर बोल सकते ऑकस. तो इसमें तो EU, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, यूके एंड यूएस है. हाँ, with regarding to the other domain, International Solar Alliance was also set up with help of France. It is the first European country to accept UPI payment. And to strengthen the Indo-Pacific region, India, France can work a lot. Right now, it is not a member of Quad. But bilateral strategic maritime cooperation with regarding to the aircraft, submarine, space, digitization, cyber security can be helpful. तो अभी क्यों इसका फ्रांस का बात है? क्योंकि राइट नाउ प्रेसिडेंट मैक्रोन इज इन राजपथ अटेंडिंग द रिपब्लिक डे परेड. कल गए थे जयपुर में जहाँ पर सन डायल होते थे 17th सेंचुरी राजा जय सिंह के बना हुआ था. और एक इंपॉर्टेंट है कि 1998 में व्हेन इंडिया वेंट ऑन न्यूक्लियर, इट्स फ्रांस डिड नॉट कंडेम इंडिया. इट सपोर्टेड इंडिया ऑन जम्मू कश्मीर. इट ऑल्सो टुक अ वेरी good stand with regarding the India. Advocacy of the India claim to the permanent membership of the UNSC is being supported by the France. France also criticized Pakistan for its support to the non-state actor. So overall देखा जाए तो India and France share the relationship of the strategic autonomy in the region. Then thank you. That's all for today.
We can take up sports.